So this is the first semester that we've had a Muslim student advisor on campus, and it's been by far the most resourceful for me as a Muslim at Swarthmore. I can give you a couple of examples. So the other day, we were at a pizza shop, and we were approached by a man who was not saying some great things about Muslims, and we had to go through with that situation, kind of try to diffuse the man from doing anything too hurtful. And that was like one of the first times I've ever experienced something like that, and I'm very thankful for that. That's one of the few times. But it was nice to have somebody there whose their job is to help you through those types of situations when you're dealing with racist or discriminatory remarks. And I think, unfortunately, given the time in America that we're in, Islamophobia, as it's commonly known, is rising. And that's very difficult. And even at a place like Swarthmore, where we are very, very strongly against anything like that, it's still a necessary resource that we need to have a Muslim student advisor to educate people who we're sending into the world as leaders, for somebody to be there, to educate them about what it means to stand up to remarks like that. And for a Muslim student, that's really important to me, especially because it's something that impacts me directly. But it's also important for me to know that my fellow students are also getting those resources, because I know that a lot of people here are going to go on to do really, really great things, and I'd love to have this voice represented within their education. I was at an interfaith conference with some other students here, part of our interfaith council, and there was the leader of the interfaith conference told us a story about how if John Kerry said that if he would go back in time and choose a major, he would have majored in comparative religion, because multiple or so many issues today are based in religion, conflict, and so much of that. And so I feel that it's really important for Swarthmore students to have that background, especially given that comment. And, I think it's also important not just to view it from the academic side. You can take academic courses in religion, but that's very different from talking to somebody who experiences religion as a career, and who, is dedicated to helping students through the religious exploration. I think, it's important for students who are going through that religious exploration to know that, but I think it's also very important for other students to know what that religious exploration is for a lot of people. Because when you look at the personal side of religion, that's what really fosters that dialogue that you can have with other people when you're talking international relations, when people are bringing up their religious views in conversations, and to be able to understand them, you have to understand that personal aspect. And so I think Swarthmore, if we're going to talk about putting well-educated citizens into the world, we need to look at that personal side of religion and how students are growing. I was talking to a friend who graduated this past year, and he said that at Swarthmore, it was the first time he felt marginalized for his religion. And I think that's really disappointing. And I think he was mentioning how there were some anti-religious remarks made at the senior breakfast, and that's at the culmination of their Swarthmore education. That's when they're supposed to be graduating as well-rounded citizens, but yet they're still making these types of remarks, and I think that's really disappointing. So I think it's really, really important for Swarthmore to place a greater emphasis on that, because we're obviously not doing as great of a job as we could be. And as somebody who's personally going to have to live in a world that's becoming increasingly derogatory towards Muslims, it's important for me, for an institution like Swarthmore, to emphasize that. And I think the Muslim students' position is the first step along that. And I think it's been shown through a lot of the activities, a women in faith panel that I attended, that's a side of religion that I don't even know a ton about. Even being Muslim, but the Islamic and Muslims, or the Islamic and women's side of that, I don't know a lot about. And I felt myself growing through that experience and understanding things that I hadn't understood before. So I think having her for a semester has just shown the progress that Swarthmore can make. So I think it's important for us to continue that, and that's why I support the creation of a Muslim student advisor position.